Several million people around the world are amputees, but with many of them you wouldn't be able to tell, thanks to modern prosthetic technology. With the help of the latest technology, amputees can now lead a largely independent life and reach goals that seemed virtually impossible just a few years ago. Today, living with an amputation is a very different thing than it was in the past. Although an amputation is always a traumatic event, there are now modern treatment measures that can substantially improve a person's quality of life. Olaf is 33 years old and works as an economist in the Public Administrative Service in Germany. His left leg was amputated above the knee due to cancer. Like Olaf, many people undergo amputation surgery each year, although the reasons may vary. Accidents, infections and tumours are common causes, but in the lead are circulatory disorders and diabetes. Insufficient blood flow to the extremities can be a life-threatening situation. In many cases, amputation surgery is the only way to save life. The attending doctor explains to Olaf what treatment steps have already been completed and what to expect next. The doctor assumes overall responsibility for the rehabilitation process, treatment management and coordination, supporting and informing the patient. The amputation height is selected by the attending doctor according to the findings. The most common amputation types can be classified as follows. In the foot region, there is the so-called Chopin amputation, which retains the ankle. The so-called Syme amputation severs the ankle. A below-the-knee amputation is also known as a transtibial amputation. In a knee disarticulation, the limb is amputated at the knee joint. An amputation above the knee is known as a transfemoral amputation. Amputations in the hip area include hip disarticulation, which is an amputation that removes the entire thigh bone, as well as the so-called hemipelvectomy, which is an amputation in the pelvic region. In order to obtain a successful rehabilitation, it's crucial that all rehabilitation measures are begun as soon as possible, regardless of the amputation level. For Olaf, this includes correct positioning of the residual limb right from the start, in addition to instructions for wrapping the residual limb and caring for the skin. These measures help reduce swelling of the residual limb, make the skin more resilient, and support wound healing, important prerequisites for the subsequent prosthetic fitting. The time a wound takes to heal varies considerably, and proper wound healing is essential. Responsibility for these tasks is assumed by the nursing staff. The nursing staff provides instructions for care of the residual limb, wound care, positioning, wrapping techniques and donning a liner. During his time in the rehabilitation clinic, his physical therapist is an important contact person for Olaf. The physical therapist is responsible for edema reduction and promoting circulation, mobilization training for joints and musculature, and later, handling the prosthesis and gait training. This physical therapist has many years of experience in the treatment of amputees. She has set herself the goal of getting Olaf back on his feet. The physical therapist develops a long-term plan to help Olaf train for improved balance, strength and mobility. Physical fitness will affect his ability to walk again. This is why adhering to the training schedule is important in order to avoid muscle stiffness and joint contractures, both in the amputated leg and in the rest of the body. As soon as wound healing is complete, the prosthetic fitting process can commence. The prosthetist is responsible for this phase.